Greetings to all my dear students. Filmmaking is an art of a complicated exercise and a work of fine creativity. Films or cinema deals with all sorts of themes, topics, and issues on the earth. That is why, in the current scenario, it is considered as a popular and powerful means of entertainment. Needless to say, cinemas depict the real face of society that shatters the emotions of every being, due to which sometimes they even have to face criticism as well as appreciation both. But students, have you ever given a thought that what level of effort is taken to make a film, or what goes behind the curtain? This chapter, Poet and Pancakes, is a curtain raiser and reveals the condition and technicalities involved in the filmmaking during the era of 1940 and 50s, when when filmmaking was considered as a tedious task and was produced with the minimum facilities available. As we all know that in those times films were made with low budget and were black and white films and not like today's colored films. With the passing time there has been a lot of transition in the film industry as well. Now the stars are highly paid, we have outdoor shootings, and the films are of commercial value. But in those days, film were shot at a particular place, or better to say, in a studio. The actor and actresses, the director, producer, they all worked as a team and a unit with dedication to produce a film. This chapter, Poet and Pancakes, written by Ashoka Mitran, features all the elements that help to run the Gemini studio. Ashoka Mitran, born in the year 1931, was a Tamil Indian writer and regarded as the most influential figure in the post independent Tamil literature. In his book, My Years with Boss, he recounts the influence of movies on every aspect of life in India. This lesson, Poets and Pancakes, is an excerpt from his book, My Years with Boss. In Poets and Pancakes, he recollects his journey at Gemini Studio. The author worked in this studio for more than a decade. His duty in this studio was to cut out the newspaper clippings on a wide variety of subjects and store them in files. Although he performed an insignificant function, but he was the most well informed of all the members of Gemini Studio. And in this chapter, he gives an interesting portrait of the leading members that worked in the studio. But before we read about them, there are some interesting facts about this Gemini Studio that you need to know. Gemini Studio was set up in the year 1940, located in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. It was one of the most influential film producing company in India in the early days of Indian filmmaking. Its founder was S.S. Vasan. As already mentioned, the author Ashoka Mitran also worked in the same studio. The Gemini Studio has kept a foundation stone to flourish the art of filmmaking in India, especially in the post-independence era. The Gemini entertained its fans all over India and abroad. The studio of film production never limited its activities within the four walls, but also gives a clear glimpse of the outside world. It was a talent ground for many rising actors and actresses who later gave many blockbusters to the Indian cinema. Now let's begin with the text. The author opens his writing with a description about the brand named Pancake, which was a sort of makeup material that Gemini Studios bought in truckloads. It means that in those days, this pancake was in such a huge demand that the actress and the artist of those times, such as Greta Garbo and Miss Verher Vajanti Mala, used it or applied it a lot. However, the author assumes saying that the modern actresses of those times, such as Rati Agnihotri, may not have even heard or used it. The author further describes the inside of the Gemini studio. He gives a glimpse of the makeup department, which was in the upstairs of the building. According to the author, this place was once Robert Clive's stable, who was a resourceful person and also already had many other buildings of the city under his name. He married a maiden in St. Mary's Church. In describing the makeup department, he says that the makeup room in the Gemini studio looked more like a hair cutting salon with lights at all angles. Around a half dozen of bulbs were put up all around the large mirror to give a better reflection. They were all incandescent light and they emitted a lot of light and heat. So the actresses and the artist who were sitting before the mirror had to bear torment heat. So this made them even uncomfortable at times, whenever they would sit before the mirror and do makeup. In author's perception, the makeup department of the Gemini studio was an example of national integration, as the department was run by the people coming from different state and faith. The department was first headed by a Bengali who became too big for the studio and left. The author here at this situation mocks at him and says that he could not fit in the surroundings. He felt too proud and considered the studio a small place to fit or to suit his talent. That is why he left the job and started to work somewhere else. This man was then succeeded by a Maharashtrian, assisted by a, assisted by a Madras Indian Christian, an Anglo-Burmese, and the local Tamils. So this is how the people used to work there in the makeup department. The author further explains the function of the staff members of the makeup department inside the makeup room. The text says that the gang of the department could turn any decent looking person into a hideous crimson hued monster with the help of truckloads of pancake and a number of locally made potions and lotions. So basically this lines means that the author through this line is trying to add a humor and says that this makeup department would apply such a huge amount of pancake or such a huge amount of makeup on the faces of the artists that they looked hideous and were looking as if they were painted as a monster. Their look was completely changed because of applying large amount of lotions and potions. In those days, unlike the present days, the films were shot inside the studio and only 5% was shot outside on outside location. So a lot of light and makeup was needed to for the artist to look fair and presentable in the movie. The author further says that there was a strict hierarchy that was maintained in the department. The chief makeup man worked on the main actor and actresses. The senior assistant made the second hero and heroine look ugly. At this situation, the author mocks at the skills of applying makeup, that he says that the actresses or the artist made those actresses look ugly. Actually, it was due to excessive applying of pancakes and with the intention to look more fair and beautiful. They looked so ugly and monstrous that their real beauty was not visible anymore. Next were the juniors who handled the comedians and the lesser actors of the film. Those who played the role of crowd were left to the charge of the office boy. Now, whenever there was an outdoor shooting on the set, this office boy would mix paint in his large vessel and would roughly apply on their face to make sure that every pore on the face or every face was covered with paint. The author had here in the text mentions about the office boy who was in fact in his 40s. He aspires to become an actor or a screenwriter, director or a poet. I mean, when he came to the industry, when he joined the studio, he had his own dreams. He was full of talent, but unfortunately his talent remained ignored by everyone at the studio.